this goes back to why I am so frustrated with Mo Salah, because Liverpool's success is built on a collective. We're a team. We didn't beat Barcelona from one individual. So that the other day, knowing the week we've got, how fucking dare you do that to them? Do you know what I mean? And I am not the biggest Slot fan at the minute with regards to how the season's gone. And that's me judging them off results. But I was like, how can you do that to the team and the manager, knowing what's getting said about them? Like you said, mate, every one of them have been ridiculed. So to go out there going, me, that just doesn't cut the mustard with me. And I love them. And like you've just said there, lad, you've got to be able to determine the fact that you can criticise players, but also remember that when you criticise someone, it's not off the back. You're not ridiculing for what they've done.
No, exactly. And listen, Ben, you know the thing is as well, I think like one thing that's killed the conversation around it as well, I'm definitely one of few here. I really like Carragher. I do. I really like Carragher, but
I do.
But
his emotion carries him away, doesn't it?
But it's very clear that he does not like Salah as a person, and Salah does not like Carragher as a person. And anytime he talks on Salah, right, I struggle with it. And I'd even put out, I was really hoping there was going to be a bit more of a nuanced conversation when he came out and had the conversation with it. And listen, it wasn't what I think I wanted to hear. It wasn't. It felt. I don't know. It wasn't what I was hoping for at all, and it's not helped the situation at all, because it's just kind of drilled that in more. That if you're against Salah and you're X, Y, Z, you know who did a brilliant job at summarising how I feel was Gerrard.
Yeah,
where
this was brilliant.
I don't think the intent was profusely against the club. He's a world-class player. He's frustrated he isn't starting, and he has a right to say that, but he has a right to deal with the consequence that comes as a result. You can't go against the manager publicly.
You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't go against the manager publicly. It's like Gerrard said, you just can't do that. And there is an issue with doing that. And you just need to, you do that apology behind closed doors, you shake the hand, you move on. On Riyadh issue with Wenger, on Riyadh issue with Pep, Suarez had issue with Rodgers, Gerrard had issue with Rodgers, Patrick Berger. Xabi Alonso with Rafa Benitez had a massive issue, and Rafa did Xabi dirty. Remember, Rafa didn't let Xabi fly home to see the birth of his son, and that's why he started trying to replace him with Gareth Barry. Obviously, there could be loads that's happened behind the scenes that we don't know, but it's something you want to handle in-house. I think that's probably the conversation that's been had there. Salah is an all-time Premier League great. You know what I mean?
Like, Mo, it's really interesting this, because notice how, even though we've picked up that win against Inter Milan, because this is how massive and seismic of an event this is, that even though we've just went away to the San Siro and beaten Inter Milan 1-0 in a performance that would be lauded in any other season, instantly our minds go back to the Salah conversation. That's how massive of a thing this is. And I suppose we'll move on to that. We'll come back to Inter. I promise we will come back to the positivity, but we'll get the most stuff out of the way, because it's been discussed to death at this point. But like, if you're Mo Salah, and I know everyone's given their thoughts and opinions on it, so anything I say is not going to make a difference, but you have a responsibility as a leader, as the highest paid player in that team, as the person who is saying, I should be playing based on everything I've done and achieved with this club. You have a responsibility, surely, to be coming out in the difficult times for the club, not just a difficult week for you personally. Like, are you disappointed with the way he's went about it? Are you disappointed with him? Because I think his ego's gone a bit wild at the moment, which we can.
It's always been the same, though, Lou. It has always been the same.
Well, I said earlier, I think like everybody's entitled to their opinion, and one thing I will say is no player is bigger than the club. Okay, let's get that fact out of the way. But if I were to percentage this, I would say 90% of it Mo is in the wrong, but 10% I'm actually just intrigued to see what's triggered that. Mo is not. He doesn't really come out in the media until it's contract talk, you know? Let's be honest. He doesn't come out and say things unless he wants something for himself. He's had tendencies of showing that he is all about me. I want to be the main man. But that was that felt very different to me, the way he came out. I thought it was AI when I first saw it. I thought, nah, this is AI, man. This is rubbish.
I did too, yeah.
Something has triggered him so bad for him to come out and throw the club under the bus, throw his players under the bus. And look, there's reasons for everything. And if I want to know, and I think the truth will come out. But if, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, you know, let's just say Rami, his agent, find out that behind his back they've agreed to sell him, and he's told Edwards and Hughes have told Slot phase him out. Okay, drop him, use AFCON as an excuse. I'm just giving a hypothetical.
No, 100%. Sorry. Yeah, go on. I agree with you.
I'm not saying it's true. I'm just letting people.
No, you're right. No, you're right. Sorry,
all I've seen is Salah getting abuse at the moment, which is rightly so. But we also got to remember what he's done for us in the last 10 years.
That's why I think we phase him out, Mo. Because that's where I disagree with phasing him out. And the reason being is Mo Salah can't hold his own pissing. So
yeah, exactly. Well, this is the thing.
You know he's going to fucking kick off. So for me, they aren't doing that. And I can't just fucking see all people talking on it like that. I just think Mo Salah can't handle being phased out. That is it.
And this is the point I was going to try and make. 90% of me says he's wrong because he's showing main man syndrome. And the penny's dropped with him. He's not the main man anymore. And yesterday, that performance was a siege mentality performance from the players. They actually had each other's back. They wanted to fight for each other. They wanted to win for the club. And we haven't seen that in a performance for a long, long time. So I think they reacted to that as well. They will never come out. But you're right. Leaders like Van Dijk, Salah, you expect better for them. And he should have kept... Everything that Stevie G said was spot on. That's the basic.
Yeah. Gerrard nailed it.
Hit the nail on the head. But I also want fans to understand. Look, I'm not saying how you don't. I'm not teaching you how to have your opinion. I'm just saying, look, he's done 8 years of great service for us. Let's not. If this is the way he leaves, let's remember what he's done and not just hold him to judgment for what he's for his outburst.
Well, you said that there about the way he leaves. Like, I don't believe he leaves. Like, I really don't. I think there's a lot of both from his camp and from Liverpool's camp, and also from people who like to cause chaos in the media, because there's a lot of them as well that are just using. Yeah, there's a lot of that at the moment that people are using to drum up numbers. If I was to give you the reality that I think, again, this is my opinion. I do think it is a case of Salah has been dropped because Slot is just trying to solidify the team and grind a couple of results, because he probably was told you need to get a run now. Now, like you say, we know that he's probably had a chat and you now need 3-4 results out of 4 here. And he's not even got that now. But I think what has caught Liverpool off guard this year, and this is on Slot and the coaching staff, the way we used Salah last year got found out, but it got found out just in time as we'd won the league. Right? So we were getting found out, but it was also like, it's fine. We haven't figured out a new way of using Salah where the right back area is covered or the right side is covered defensively, where we're still able to use Salah in the same way. Now, the conversation for me comes, do you look at him in the way you looked at Rooney? Where, okay, an adjusting of position needs to be made for the sake of the player for the next 18 months. I think the best way to use Salah now, in the system that we've seen this week, you use him in the same position of Ekatike or Isak, or even in occasion where you had Verts. You use him in these areas. You can start him ahead of one of those two forwards because he can play that role. In fact, when we played against Man City last year, we played that system. He played narrow in that game. So I think it is possible. I think it is the right way to approach it. So I think what needs to happen, and what probably has happened in the last 24 and probably the next 24, is conversations will be had between Salah's camp and our camp, Liverpool's camp, about resolution. I don't believe anyone will think it best fit for Salah to leave in January. One, Liverpool, from an image standpoint, Hughes and Edwards will know that is a terrible look. Now, people can say they don't care about looks, etc., but there is a way and a means of doing business. They will not want to do business that way. And also, you wouldn't have given Salah a contract just to sell him in the January. I don't think that would be the case. Salah will want guarantees, which we won't be able to necessarily provide. So it's how you find the middle ground there. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I think Ben touched on this before, it's a results business. Slot is putting the team first. It's team first. So however you get a result is however you get a result. And at the moment, against how I prefer it, because I want to see Salah play. It's right now without Salah, and going into AFCON, it will be without Salah for the next month.
Well, this is and I think that does lean into it as well, because if AFCON wasn't happening, for example, I don't think Salah does this interview. I don't think he comes out in the mixer and starts saying, this is happening. This is what I've broken down my relationship. I'm being thrown under the bus. I think he's planned this perfectly. And Carragher hints at it, that it's all choreographed.
No way he's just gone off the cuff with that, lad.
Exactly. No way. It's been planned out. And like Mo said before, he doesn't do these things often. But like Carragher said, there's been 4 mixed zones since Salah's been at Liverpool. The first one was when he broke the goal-scoring record in his first season. The second one was when we won the Champions League, and it was him holding the trophy, walking out. The third one was the contract extension, and the fourth one is this. Each of them is a big moment for him individually. Very few mention of the team, bar maybe the Champions League final, because I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
But he's always been this self-driven person. Even last season, he was saying, look, I want to break the individual records. I want these individual accolades. I want to do this. I guarantee if he'd got posed that same question that Trent got asked of, what would you rather win? The captaincy of Liverpool, this, or the Ballon d'Or, or this, I guarantee he'd say the Ballon d'Or, because he's that style of player. And the difference is,
I'd only say, Lewis, I'd only say he's got a better media team that probably would have told him how fans would have reacted, so he probably would have gave a different answer. But he'd probably think the same answer, but he's got a better media team than Trent. Sorry.
In his age, though, he wants the personal accolades now, doesn't he?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
He does want the personal accolades, and he's a big, like Carragher said, he's got one of those egos of someone who is driven for the best. And Ben, like, let's not make a mistake about it. That's one of the main reasons why Mo has endeared himself to us so much over the years, is because he's someone who will put in effort. Even when he's dipped in form, he still scores goals. He still assists. This is the first time we're seeing a Mo Salah who is contributing nothing, little to nothing on the pitch.
This is why I think he has a bit of credit in the bank. I don't think we should lose our heads. Yes, what he's done is the cardinal sin. He's come out and he's aired dirty laundry to the public. Cardinal sin. You don't do that. Liverpool don't do that. Any club, you don't do it. There's other ways of doing it. But I also have a level head enough to understand that there's so many moving parts behind the scenes that we don't know about. We get fed what we get fed from the media. So at some point, whether he gets sold or whether he stays, the truth is going to come out. Like I said, 90% is on him. I think he's wrong. But I'm also reserving 10% just to wait till the truth comes out and see what actually has happened.
Well, Ben, what do you think the truth is? What do you think is the truth behind this? Because Mo's right. We don't know everything that's going on behind the scenes. And to be fair to Salah, he is the only player who's came out and had the balls to say, look, the situation's the way it is. We know what's going on. I'm not going to insult your intelligence. I'm going to say it how it is. But is there more to it than that? Do you think that there is maybe a disconnect in the whole back room, or do you think it is just purely just on him? Because that seems a bit unlikely, but not impossible.
Look, I think there's a few things, mate. Look, if anyone thinks that this isn't Salah's last season, they are living in fairy world. Mo Salah's not going to be Liverpool's right winger next year, and neither should he. You can't have a 35-year-old winger in the Premier League. It's not going to happen. He'll have grey hair and he'll be walking around with a walking fucking stick.
That 35-year-old right winger, though, has just had the best individual campaign in Premier League history.
He has, and I agree. But I look at Mo now and I think it's caught him up, personally. You take remember, a lot of the goals for Salah came earlier in the season, lads. Towards the latter stages, he was struggling. But like you said, Mike, we'd won the league pretty much by then. A lot of for ages we'd pissed the fucking league. Do you know what I mean? I personally think, mate, you've got to look at certain things as well. People are saying, Liverpool fucking phasing them out. Is Mo Salah looking for a move as well, lads? Because when he goes out there, he does things off his own back to benefit him as well. The contract situation, I want this, I want that. So I just think, lads, I'll be honest, I think Mo wants to go as well. I think there's a bit of both. I think he's pissed off with the manager not playing games, and that's the big cause of it. Lads, Frankfurt, he got dropped. That was the first game he got dropped. He's fucking thrown his top around. And I put a tweet out there. Some people, half of Egypt, were fucking saying all sorts of Barmy Mar and all that shit, lads, which made me laugh.
You're going to get a travel ban like Carragher?
Yeah, lad, that's it. My head was on top of a fucking pyramid and he was shooting at it, lads. You know what I mean? But, like, for me, he can't handle not playing. That's it. Yeah. For good reasons and for bad. Mo rightfully so has had to come out this side. And I think when you look at the grand scheme of Liverpool's team, we are better suited with that right-hand side for Mo to come out, because I don't think the manager's going to go with a Chiesa on the left-hand side if Gakpo comes out. And I think with Szoboszlai there, it helps Liverpool's balance better because he's a pressing merchant off the right-hand side, Szoboszlai. And I think it's worked. We may not have won every game, like Mike had said, but we look a lot solider. We're not conceding the ball as much. And Liverpool are making slow little progress. It's tiny progress, but it's something.
And beaten in 4.
But this is it. I think with Mo Salah, lad, right? People need to understand, if the club want to sell Mo Salah, the club can sell Mo Salah. And they give him contracts with Van Dijk to recover some money back. Lad, we've just lost all the money.
Yeah,
I don't know. I find it mad. Like, if we really wanted rid of him, don't get me wrong, I get the turn of profit, but you don't give him the contract we gave him. I know that we're going to sell him, but like, I imagine the plan would have been for next summer.
Can I just say something? One second. I think it's been speeded up because the fact Liverpool's season's been fucking garbage. Now, if Liverpool were more in the mix, I don't think we'd be looking at January.
But this is one thing. This is one thing I agree with Salah on. This is one thing I really agree with Salah on. I think he has been wrongly scapegoated. Our biggest issue for me hasn't been the right hand side. I really don't think it's been that at all. Our biggest issue has been. Yeah. I love McAllister with a passion. God, I fucking love the kid. By the way, I want to make it really clear. I love McAllister. But Mac in midfield has really not had the season that we're used to. I didn't think he was bad against Inter the way half the timeline thought, but he's not been good this season. Konate, who laws himself as a world-class centre-back, I think he is in moments, has been awful for the most part.
But how do you take Konate out with no other defenders, lad?
Yeah,
but you've had Joe Gomez, Joe Gomez, and this frustrates the life. I know we're going off the sidetrack here, but Salah, just keep it focused. Look,
this is why Grizz is bald. He's getting stressed.
But listen, Salah said that he felt like he was being scapegoated, and I think he is correct, because I think the media, subconsciously or consciously, have a bad habit of targeting Muslim players and African players for blaming moments where they need a target. You've seen it with the World Cup with Saka. You've seen it in Man City with Raheem Sterling. You've seen it at Liverpool with Salah when certain things have gone wrong in the past. And you've seen it with Mane as well at times. I don't think that all of it stems from that here. I want to be very clear. And there are issues with the way Salah's played. He's not been brilliant this year at all. I'm not saying he has been. But our main issue hasn't been I've not came away from a game this season gone, fucking game bottled because of our right winger. I've gone, it's been a centre-back, it's been a left-back issue, it's been the entire midfield,
I'll be honest,
it's been our left wing.
Shit.
Oh, no, I've said games, he's been shit, absolutely. But, like, the biggest issue in most games, bar maybe 2 from memory, has been Gakpo, the left-back, Konate, all the entire midfield. Like,
going off Mo's standards, sorry to go in.
No, you're right, sorry, I'm rambling. You got it.
Luke, just a quick question, though, with regards to Salah, right? For his standards, no one can tell me any otherwise. He's been garbage. He needed to come out of this side, lads. And also, Luke, do you agree with me that the manager is fucking trying to throw all sorts of shit at the wall? He's needed to make a statement. He can't take his fucking captain out. So he's had to go in.
I think I think it's twofold. I think the first bit about the standards for Salah, absolutely. I think that's one of the main reasons why he may feel as though he's being scapegoated, because even if you look at last season, there were games where we weren't great. We were actually pretty piss poor in some of those matches and ones that we even won, and we got through it based off of Salah's individual brilliance. He carried Newcastle away. He came off the bench and he carried us to that.
I think that was that and West Ham was some of his best games.
Exactly. There was games where he came on and he was the individual. So a lot of people are looking at it as, right, regardless of the situation surrounding you, no matter what team you've been in, be it 2020-21 when Van Dijk was injured and the whole back line went down, you were still putting out numbers. 22-23, we were awful. We finished in the Europa League. You were still putting out numbers. Why can't you do that same thing now? I think that's why a lot of the media attention is focused on him. And also with Slot, I think there's no middle ground with him. He's either too rigid and regimented to the system that he wants, or he's trying too much. There is no nice neutral ground. And this is the first one where he's come out and defensively structured the team to just not concede at the expense of attack. That is that XG that we got the other day. And XG's give or take, whatever. Only 4 games last season did we have a lower XG. That was the loss to Nottingham Forest, the loss to Chelsea after we won the league, the 2-0 against City at the Etihad, and the 2-2 draw with Everton. Every other game we over-exceeded it. Slot now is just trying to work out the kinks of, I don't have a Salah to carry us. How am I going to get the best out of this team with all these new players? And he's trying to find a nice middle ground. And I do think that is a big issue when he's trying a million different things the way he has been so far this season.
Yeah.